I swear, if Disney Plus does not release some Baby Yoda plushies by Christmas time, there's gonna be some riots. As you guys can see, my background is a little bit different. That's because I just moved into my new apartment, and really this is the only thing I have set up. So this background might not even be permanent. It's just, if you see the rest of my apartment, oh boy, it looks like a tornado. But anyway, that's not what we're here to discuss, me moving into a new apartment. We're here to discuss Mandalorian Episode 3. And my God, what an episode. Unlike my other two reviews for The Mandalorian, where I gave my non-spoiler thoughts, for this episode, I'm going full spoilers. So if you haven't seen Mandalorian Episode 3 entitled The Sin, please go back and watch that on Disney Plus and then come back here. This episode not only got me excited for future episodes of The Mandalorian going forward, but it also really got me excited for the upcoming Obi-Wan series that's coming to Disney Plus, because this episode was directed by Deborah Child, who is the first female director of any live-action Star Wars property, period. And my God, did she do a phenomenal job in this episode. Like, the action beats in this episode were great when there was the Mandalorians versus the bounty hunters. Like, I was eating all of this up. And also, this episode was the longest of the 3 episodes of The Mandalorian so far. And it kind of turned me around to the fact that every episode is a different episode length, because my first 2 reviews of The Mandalorian, I was complaining about the fact, and I didn't really enjoy the fact that the episodes were so short. And this episode in particular, even though from a selfish standpoint, I do want the episodes to be longer. I want every episode to be an hour, just like that is the standard norm for television dramas nowadays. But it turned me around in the sense that, for the most part, the first 2 episodes were pitch perfect in terms of the story that they wanted to tell. Like the first episode ending on the reveal of Baby Yoda, I thought was a perfect ending. Now, had they been shackled to the 1 hour length, they would have had to force more stuff onto the show. And I feel like it was a great way to whet your appetite for the next episode. Unlike, say, something like The Flash and Arrow and Legends of Tomorrow and Supergirl, like those shows have to be basically an hour each episode. And something that I've always been complaining about, at least lately with episodes of The Flash, where I'm just like, okay, this part of the storyline I care about, but this other B plot and stuff like that, take it out. Like, I don't care, like it's stupid, but you have to have this other B plot because you have to pad out the episode for an hour. And this show basically isn't doing that. They have a story to tell, and if in one episode that story is 23 minutes, then so be it. If the next episode is 30 minutes, then so be it. Or if the next episode is 40 minutes, like in this episode, then that's the story that they're gonna tell. And so now I'm kind of enjoying the fact that they're not shackled to a specific runtime. But yeah, but like I said, the selfish part of me and the part of me that is a Star Wars fan not only wants more episodes, but I want the episodes to be longer. But I'm definitely enjoying what I'm getting so far. And this was my favorite of the 3 episodes, not just in the fact of the great action sequence at the end of the episode, but just the episode throughout, because this episode was the thing that I've been wanting since episodes 1 and 2. I've been always saying, like, even though the Mandalorian is covered from head to toe, it's hard to connect with him emotionally, because not only is he covered from head to toe, but he doesn't really talk that much, so you don't really get that much of his personality. Well, in this episode, he was talking a whole lot. Pedro Pascal's vocal performance as the Mandalorian is great, and you get to hear his personality and see what type of character he is throughout this episode. So I enjoyed hearing more of his dialogue, hearing more of the Mandalorian to figure out who he is. We still don't know what his name is yet, but I have a better sense of his character from this episode. And I think a large part of that, and what I'm really enjoying, is seeing that it's this introduction of the Baby Yoda character that's really changing who he is as a person, instead of being this hard-ass bounty hunter that is the one that gets his bounty no matter what and doesn't ask any questions. Well, now he's finding this creature, this innocent creature, that's compromising those ideals and changing everything that he believes is right. And I enjoy storylines like that. Even taking something like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, where Spike was this hard-ass vampire who was known as killing 2 slayers, but then he meets somebody like Buffy, and even before he gets a soul, Buffy changed him to the point that he wanted to become a better man, or a better vampire, or a better demon. And just like in a video game, he got an armor upgrade in this episode, and I was like, that armor looks fucking great. Speaking of armor, like, it was revealed that Mandalorians never take off their armor, and they never take off their helmet. And this is something that I was thinking in the last episode when he got covered in all that mud from the giant rhinoceros-like alien creature. I was like, man, his balls must stink, because how does he even take a shower? Like, you can't take off your armor, you can't take off your helmet. Can you even brush your teeth? And then also I'm like, hey, how do the Mandalorians go to the bathroom if they can't take off their armor? Because even just as a cosplayer, when you're cosplaying the spandex from head to toe, you literally have to take off the entire suit just to be able to use the bathroom. So imagine him having having all this armor? Like, how does he go to the bathroom? And then also, how do the Mandalorians reproduce? I'm like, do they have like a slit where they just expose their private parts? And then with that, I'm like, if you can't take a shower and then you're just exposing that one slit, it must be like a waft of fumes. I'm just like, ew. Something I was thinking about while I was watching this show, I was like, at this point, stormtroopers don't even need to wear armor. Like, they just need to go bare ass, because what does the armor actually do? Like, you see the Mandalorian taking blaster fire and he's perfectly fine. Even Grief took a blaster shot to the chest and still walked away from that. Granted, he was protected by the Imperial credits, but if Imperial credits are stronger than stormtrooper armor, what are y'all doing? Like, the armor can't protect them from a simple knife. It can't protect them from blaster fire. But yeah, I was just like, what's the point of the stormtrooper armor if they keep being taken out so easily? Like, I don't know what Salvation Army thrift shop they get their armor from, but I hope they held on to the receipts, because they need to get a refund. And I'm so glad that Carl Weathers' Grief character survived the end of this episode. When the Mandalorian shot him, I was like, oh, you killed Grief? Come on now. He's like, what, like the fourth black person we've seen in a live action Star Wars property with a bunch of lines of dialogue and several scenes? What is it? You have Lando Calrissian, you got Mace Windu, Finn, and now Grief. And based on the previews of The Rise of Skywalker, you see a black woman in there, but I don't know how prominent her role is. But you got a black woman in a live action Star Wars property. So, oh wow, now we'll end up with 5 characters in a live action Star Wars property. Talk about progress. But she probably won't be a Jedi though, because you can't have a black woman Jedi. But yeah, now that episode 3 is ended, we only got like 3 more episodes left. So I wonder where they're going with the rest of the series, and I wonder what they plan on doing with Baby Yoda going forward. Will we finally get the reveal of what Yoda's species actually is? And then also, are they all Force sensitive? Because part of me also is like, oh, a baby Yoda, that's so adorable. But then at the same time, especially finding out that this baby Yoda is Force sensitive and apparently is super powerful, to the fact that it was able to lift up this giant rhino character. But then at the same time, it also kind of makes me go, well, if they're all Force sensitive, you got Yoda, Yaddle, and now this baby Yoda, does it kind of take away the uniqueness and specialness of the Yoda character if they're basically all like that? But either way, I'm still here for baby Yoda. Anyway, I would give episode 3 of Mandalorian, The Sin, a definite blockbuster. This was my favorite episode, and like I said, I can't wait to see what Deborah does for the Obi-Wan series. So have you seen episode 3 of The Mandalorian? What did you think about it? Let me know down in the comment section below. Also, if you can, hit that thumbs up button and like this video to really help out the channel. And if this is your first time watching one of my videos, please check out the other videos on my channel. If you like what you see, please subscribe for more and hit that bell notification button so you're alerted every single time I post a new video. And tell your friends, families, and neighbors about my channel to help me continue to grow. And as always, I'll catch you guys next time.